Hey everybody, welcome back to the My Bourbon Journey Whiskey Review channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today we're diving into from Woodford Reserve Distillery. This is their Woodford Double Oaked. This is coming in at their standard 90.4 proof or 45.2% ABV. MASHBILL, undisclosed. Age statement, no age statement on this. And MSRP, it kind of ranges. I've seen this anywhere from about $40 upwards of maybe $55. So depending on where you are, those prices can change slightly. So was really excited to do this. I realized that I hadn't done this review and wanted to kind of get this one out. So again, today we're taking a look at the Woodford Double Oaked bourbon. So color wise, as you can see, I mean, it's like a really nice, rich, almost like mahogany, dark, deep, like kind of copper color on it. So that double oak influence is really kind of presenting itself in the glass. As I move it around, decent oils. I wouldn't say it's overly oily. Again, at 90.4 proof, you're not going to get a lot of those oils that are going to be there that you would in a higher proof or a non-chill filtered bourbon, but not too bad. So all right, let's get into the nose here. Oh, my first instinct is to want to say this is like a Snickers candy bar. That's what kind of came to my mind right away. There's that really nice, rich, sweet oak that's there. Definitely some dark chocolates. That caramel. Wouldn't say it's overly nutty that you get in a Snickers bar or anything like that, but the caramel and the chocolate, all of that, almost like a little bit of like a nougat or something. Yeah, it's very much like a Snickers bar. It's crazy what that smells like. Maybe even a touch of that Brown-Forman kind of banana note. Nice vanilla. Oh man, it's crazy how much this smells like a Snickers in a glass. A little more of that banana comes through a little bit, leans a little bit more towards that, almost like Bananas Foster or something like that, again with the caramel and the vanillas, all of those kinds of things. And then one thing it also reminds me of, kind of a little bit of a flashback, but my grandfather used to smoke a pipe and he would always have this really nice, sweet, pipe tobacco. And, even though I was young, I still recognized the sweetness of it, but now kind of combining that sweetness and knowing or understanding a little bit more about what the tobacco side of it is, it reminds me very much of a nice, sweet pipe tobacco. Maybe even a little bit of, maybe a slight leather aspect to it. Definitely some of those dark fruits are now kind of starting to come through. More of a dark or a dried out dark fruit. So you get where it's a little bit more rich or intense, something along those lines. Even a little bit of a root beer. There's a little bit of that anise kind of there, but more of a root beer soda, I would say, is kind of what it smells like to me. Maybe even a bit of a candy corn, something you'd get around Halloween. Really nice nose. I mean, it's sweet from that standpoint, but the true factor is going to be how does this guy taste. So let's dive into that now. Cheers. Yeah, it's a Snickers bar. I nailed that. I mean, it's like drinking a liquid Snickers bar. If you like something sweet, caramels, chocolates, I don't know if I'd go as far as saying there's a nuttiness to it, but it just reminds you of when you bite into a Snickers bar, what it is you're truly getting it. Maybe it's even a bit of a nougat, something along those lines as well. Yeah, that sweet oak again is there. Nice spice. Actually, it's more like velvety on the palate than you'd expect getting it from the on the nose. Like it didn't smell like it was going to be overly like thick or heavy, but it actually has a nice mouthfeel to it. Coats the mouth pretty well. Yeah, again, some of those caramels really kind of come through. It is. I mean, it's so much like a Snickers bar. It's crazy with what this is. Those chocolates, still a little more of that root beer aspect to it. Definitely some of those dark fruits. I think anytime you start to get these double oaked, starts to bring out some of these heavier fruit type of note, red fruit type of notes. Nice chocolate aspect again to it. Yeah, and there's that, like I got on the nose, there's that sweet, like pipe tobacco. It just stands out like no tomorrow. There's a lot of sweetness to this. A little bit of cinnamon that's there. Didn't get much cinnamon on the nose. A little more like kind of lighter cinnamon on the palate. Definitely those milk chocolates on this. Medium rye spice, maybe medium mild rye spice, not overly dominant by any means. A lot of the sweetness really kind of stands out on this. And maybe there's that slight banana note. I don't know if it's just in my mind. Maybe there's something there. It's not overly dominant or really, you know, in the forefront or anything on the palate with this. So I know some people can get turned off at times by that strong or heavy banana note, and I'm not getting that but really at all. I mean, there's maybe a slight amount there that's there, but nothing that you would be, I think, turned off by. So, and even a bit of like either a vanilla or like maybe vanilla and chocolate combined wafer, like those little wafers you buy at the store. You know, maybe that's going on as well. Here's what I'd say about this. I think this makes a really nice daily sipping bourbon. I think it offers enough complexity, sweetness, a little bit of spice. But again, if you like that sweetness of like a Snickers candy bar or something along those lines, this is perfect. I think it would be a great bourbon to introduce to somebody just getting into bourbon. There's not a lot of, I would say, heat. So, you know, you're not having to fight that factor, but there's enough there that's leaving just the great flavor profile that double oaking really kind of implements on that bourbon. So overall, I think it's a really, really nice bourbon, and one that I wouldn't have a problem really recommending to anybody. I think it offers a lot for the experienced whiskey drinker, the novice, or anybody who hasn't really tried it. It really depends on what it is you're looking for that evening or whatever it may be. So I think, again, the Woodford Double Oaked kind of nailed it. I've had it before, have always really enjoyed it, and didn't realize I hadn't done a review of it, and I wanted to do it. So glad I did that. But if we kind of transition over to the finish part of it, I'd say the finish part is maybe on the medium side. It's not overly long by any means, but you still get a lot of those nice like milk chocolates, the dark fruits, that sweet oak. There's a nice enough spice that's there to it. Definitely some of that like vanilla and chocolate wafer aspect to it. And again, still it just in my mind, that sweet pipe tobacco. And again, I don't know if it's more of like a memory that it's jogged or whatever, but I definitely get some of that sweet pipe tobacco on it. But if I had to define it, my first questions somebody would be, do you enjoy Snickers? And if you do, this may be the bourbon for you. So again, there you have it. This is their Woodford Double Oaked, really nice bourbon, period. So with that being said, I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know your feedback on how you enjoy, or if you enjoy, the Woodford Double Oaked. I'm always interested to hear people's feedback on the whiskeys or bourbons that I'm doing a review of. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into another one of my reviews. Greatly appreciate the support. If you'd like to follow me, you can on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those places at My Bourbon Journey. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can through my Patreon page, which I'll have linked in the description below. With that being said, again, thank you so much for tuning in, and remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers.